Hello, this is the recap / speed draw video for the first 5 years of RAINBOWCLAN. If you haven't watched the series, I recommend going back and watching the first 6 videos to get a better idea of what's going on. I pushed out the first 6 videos really quickly because I wanted to get to this speed draw, but from now on I'm going to take it a bit more slow with the uploads as to not burn myself out. RAINBOWCLAN had a lot of interesting, both joyful and tragic events occur in the first 5 years, and I'm going to cover the events that happened to each cat. Before we start with the cats who are still alive, I'm going to honor the cats that we've lost. Sandsnarl was the clan's first deputy. He was a 72 moon-old trans male cat, and he had an adventurous personality. He was the mate of Blazestripe and the father of Partridge. He was a seasoned deputy, respected by many of his clanmates. Though he was known for having a bit of an attitude, he was also known for being an excellent teacher, offering his sage advice and wisdom to cats even older than himself. He worked great with young cats. He had a crush on Rosie Pelt and was devastated when she chose Mudsilk over him, leading him to briefly become a bit clumsier in his duties. However, he would later find love in Blazestripe, who would unexpectedly confess his feelings to Sandsnarl, and the two became mates. Sandsnarl and Blazestripe would later have their only kit, Partridge. However, Sandsnarl suffered from a wound during the birth that never really healed properly. Unfortunately, after the wound reopened 2 moons later, he was unable to be saved and died of blood loss. Tiny Sight was the clan's first medicine cat. He lived to be 164 moons old and had an insecure personality. He was the son of Whisker and the father of Blazestripe, Minnow, and Thrushpelt. Tiny Sight was a well-experienced medicine cat, though even after moons of service to his clan, his insecurities and his abilities plague his every thought. It only encouraged him to work harder, often exhausting himself with the amount of labor he put on his shoulders. And he could be a bit grumpy as a result. It took him a while to take on an apprentice, simply because he does not believe himself worthy of it. He had a kit, Blazestripe, with a kitty pet female, though nobody, not even Blazestripe, is aware of the mother's identity. He would later adopt 2 orphaned kits, who became Minnow and Thrushpelt, the latter being his apprentice and successor. He was extremely close to Mudsilk and was devastated when she died. He has never been close with his mother for reasons he does not understand, but he wished to change that later in his life. He died of hypothermia after being found out in the snow. Timestripe was an older warrior of the clan. He was 66 moons old with a confident personality. He was the father of Lavender Finn. He was a cocky but good-natured warrior, known for his particularly honed senses, which had as a result inflated his ego infinitely. He lost his mate to illness, and he remained extremely close with their only kit, Lavender Finn. He was extremely involved in his son's life to a borderline annoying degree, fussing over him as one parent would a young kitten. He was also close with his former apprentice, Blazestripe, viewing him like a son. Timestripe died tragically after being buried alive in a landslide. Mudsilk was a young warrior of the clan. She was 49 moons old, and though she was originally childish, she later became adventurous. She was the first mate of Rosie Pelt. Her love of tricks and games made her sometimes seem more suitable for the nursery, but she made up for her childish nature with her hunting skills, having almost never failed to catch. She was extremely close with Tiny Sight, often providing him with comfort that he needed to keep on pushing forward. She was also close, naturally, with her mate Rosie Pelt, who was often glued to her side. The two seemed inseparable. Sadly, Mudsilk got frostbite while out on a patrol and was unable to survive, leaving Rosie Pelt devastated. Scarlet Meadow was an older warrior of the clan, being 91 moons old but still childish in personality. She never really matured past the age of an apprentice. Though she was revered for her excellent skills and limitless ferocity in battle, her tendency to whine and pick fight over trivial things often had her labeled as more of an annoyance than anything else. Originally, she had a bit of a poor relationship with Valleystar, not thinking of him as a suitable leader due to his age. However, after witnessing Valleystar's noble rescue of Cupcake, Scarlet Meadow's respect for the young leader increased, and she began working harder to improve her own performance in the clan. Though she had eyes out for a mate, she had never been able to find love, as her life was cut short when she slipped and fell off a cliff. Though Blazestripe attempted to rescue her, injuring himself in the process, she could not be saved after being impaled on sharp rocks. Cupcake was a very young and short-lived member of the clan, at 22 moons old with a cold personality. She was a former kitty pet who sat on the border waiting to join the clan after her two legs mysteriously disappeared. Unfortunately, Cupcake did not really get along with anyone due to her cold and standoffish nature, often complaining about the other cats and earning herself a sour reputation. Despite this, she was still a warrior who pulled her weight, working hard to provide for her clan. After being saved from a dog by Valleystar, Cupcake's frozen heart began to melt, and she began to develop feelings for him, taking care of him while he was wounded with his fractured leg. Cupcake died from frostbite after sticking too long out in the cold while trying to find Valleystar some fresh kill. Cannelloni was the clan's first mediator before later becoming an elder. He was 161 moons old with a compassionate personality. He was the adoptive father of Shadow Poppy. He was found after being abandoned on RAINBOWCLAN territory by his two legs and was devastated to lose them. Despite this and his apparent lack of ability to hunt or fight, he made himself useful in the clan as a mediator. Though he was very kind and caring, he wasn't particularly great at his job, which had him starting to question his place in the clan. He would later adopt an abandoned kit named Cavekit, finding a new purpose as a father. However, as Shadow Paul became an apprentice, he was unsure of what to do. Luckily, a newcomer named Highness took the responsibilities of mediator off his shoulders, allowing him to live out the rest of his days as an elder. After suddenly disappearing, Cannelloni was later found dead in the territory. Whisker was the clan's first elder. She was 156 moons old and had a nervous personality, and she was the mother of Tiny Sight. Whisker is a well-respected elder, and though she appeared kind and caring towards her clanmates, she masked an anxiety that she carried with her much of her life. After losing her mate and most of her kits to a tragic accident, she became too afraid to get close with her living son, Tiny Sight, and therefore harbored little relationship with him. She remained quite the nervous sort her entire life, always checking over her shoulder and around the corners as if she was being watched. She's also pretty judgmental of her clanmates for trivial reasons, but she never let that show. Like Cannelloni, she wandered out in the territory one day and was found dead. Brindle Kit was the first kit to join StarClan. He was only 1 moon old when he died, and he had a lonesome personality. He was the son of Highness and Lavender Finn, and the littermate of Cavekit, Cedar and Cresskit. Not much was learned about Brindle Kit in his short life, but he was very loved by his parents. After Cavekit was grabbed by a hawk and subsequently saved by Partridge, the hawk instead turned its sight onto Brindle Kit and managed to swipe him instead. Rest in peace to all that we have lost, but now we're going to move on to the cats that are still alive. Valleystar is the first and current leader of RAINBOWCLAN. He is currently 76 moons old and has a righteous personality, though it was originally loyal. He is a distant descendant of the StarClan guide Creektooth, but otherwise has no relatives in the clan. He has 7 lives remaining. Valleystar was made leader extremely young, at only 16 moons, after something terrible happened to their previous leader and deputy, and a StarClan sign chose him as the next leader, much to the disappointment of many clan members. However, Valleystar quickly proved himself to be an excellent leader. He is fiercely loyal to his clan and its members, working tirelessly to provide for them and putting their lives far before his own. He developed a crush on Cupcake, a former kitty pet with a standoffish personality, and would later save Cupcake from the jaws of a dog, which in turn shattered Valleystar's leg. However, Cupcake would later die from frostbite after going out to find prey for Valleystar, leaving him devastated. He would suffer from infection in his fractured leg for many moons to come, working to overcome his grief. After recovering from his infection and broken leg, he didn't give up his reckless behavior in effort to protect his clanmates, losing his first life to a dog and another to protect Tiny Sight from a monster. He was very close with Sandsnarl and was devastated when she died. Despite everything, Valleystar continues to push forward for the sake of his clanmates. Hopefully one day he will get a chance to start a family. Blazestripe is the current deputy of the clan. He is 68 moons old with an adventurous personality and is the son of Tiny Sight and a kitty pet female, and the adoptive older brother of Thrushpelt and Minnow. He is the former mate of Sandsnarl and the father of Partridge. He has always been close with his father, and despite wanting to become a medicine cat apprentice like him, Tinysite encouraged him to follow the path of a warrior. The warrior life ended up suiting Blazestripe much better, with his love of adventuring making him a hard-working member of the clan, always eager to go out on patrol. He saw his former mentor, Timestripe, as a sort of second father figure, and loved to spend time with him on patrols prior to his death. The death of Timestripe hit Blazestripe particularly hard, but he found comfort in the presence of Sandsnarl, who he would later ask to become his mate. The two would later have a single kitten, Partridge, the birth of whom ultimately caused Sandsnarl to die. Though Blazestripe was broken by his mate's death, he worked hard to be a good father to their son. He was chosen to be deputy after receiving multiple visions from StarClan hinting at his destiny. He would later lose his leg after it was caught in a two-leg trap, but he didn't let this stop him from being deputy. Currently, he is in the medicine cat den with a mangled tail, which he will hopefully recover from soon. Thrushpelt is the young medicine cat of the clan. He is only 18 moons old with a fierce personality. Thrushpelt was born alongside his brother Minnow to a loner named Basil, who died under mysterious circumstances when the kids were 5 moons old. They were taken in by RAINBOWCLAN and adopted by Tinysite. After watching his adoptive father work, Thrushkit decided the idea of hurting others made him sick, and he decided to become a medicine cat. Despite this, he still ended up with a fierce personality, which I just interpret him as being snappy and sarcastic, kinda like Jay Feather. After the death of Tinysite, Thrushpelt was left as the clan's sole caretaker, and the stress of the workload is getting to him. He worries that he is not yet experienced to take on an apprentice, but he is looking for one anyway. Highness Heart is the clan's mediator. She was a 101 moon old cat with a righteous personality. She is the mate of Lavender Finn and the mother of Cavekit, Cedar Cresskit, and Brindle Kit. She was originally a loner named Highness, but was driven out of her old home by a terrible accident that she isn't keen on talking about. Highness Heart was rescued from a dog by RAINBOWCLAN, and in her gratitude she chose to join their ranks. With a sharp mind and a silver tongue, she decided to take Cannelloni's place as the clan's mediator after noticing how much the old cat was struggling with his duties. And despite this, she ended up disliking Cannelloni and weirdly refused to participate in his vigil. She actively works hard to mend relationships within the clan, often masking her own lonely nature by helping others grow closer. She was often followed around by a doting Lavender Finn, who she disliked at first, but slowly began to grow closer to him. The two eventually became mates and had a litter of kids together, though one of them, Brindle Kit, was tragically lost to a hawk. Tangle Spots is a senior warrior of the clan. He is a 124 moon old cat with a rebellious personality. He is the mate of Rosie Pelt and the father of Gardenia Paw, Silent Paw, and Talon Paul. Tangle Spots was a kitty pet living on a boat with his 2 legs. He had heard stories of RAINBOWCLAN and raced to their border to join them. He isn't quite fond of all the rules that come with clan life and is especially not a fan of going on medicine cat patrols, but he tries to respect their way of life nonetheless. After Rosie Pelt lost her first mate, Mudsilk, Tangle Spots was quick to move in and claim her heart for himself. They had a litter of kits together, and Tangle Spots is excellent with kids, so he was definitely in his element. He and Rosie Pelt are still madly in love and have matching rose petal accessories, which is just insane to me. Calamari Prince is a warrior of the clan. They are 90 moons old and have a cold personality. They are the mate of Shadow Poppy and the other parent of her unborn kits. Formerly named Calamari, they used to live a pampered life before something terrible happened to their 2 legs, and they never returned. Wandering on their own for some time, Calamari Prince was later hit by a monster and broke their jaw, and was discovered by a RAINBOWCLAN patrol shortly after. Their jaw was broken for many moons, but it luckily healed well. They seem prone to injury, having dislocated their leg and survived being grabbed by an eagle, but they don't let it affect them. Though they seem stoic and cold, they have an incredible soft spot for kits and young cats, often spending time with them, standing up for them, and teaching them important lessons. In an interesting turn of events, Calamari Prince intercepted the budding romance between Cedar Hollow and Shadow Poppy, and swept Shadow Poppy off her paws. Shadow Poppy is currently pregnant with their first litter of kits. Rosie Pelt is a warrior of the clan. She is 84 moons old and has a lonesome personality. She is the former mate of Mudsilk, the current mate of Tangle Spots, and the mother of Gardenia Paw, Silent Paw, and Talon Paul. Rosie Pelt is a warrior with her head in the clouds, often daydreaming about love and a more pampered lifestyle. She often wanders out of camp, preferring to be alone in her internal musings and basking herself in the comforting whispers of the wildlife. Before becoming mates with Mudsilk, she made her crush on her no secret, often toned behind the other she-cat like a lost kid. When not fumbling around in her own head, she was often seen glued to Mudsilk's side, as if afraid she would disappear. Rosie Pelt was devastated after the death of Mudsilk, but was quick to move on due to being terrified of being alone. She would later find love in Tangle Spots and would have a litter of kits with him. The two of them are madly in love and even have matching accessories, as I previously mentioned, which I can't really get over. Lavender Finn is a warrior of the clan. He is 71 moons old and has a childish personality. He is the son of Timestripe, the maid of Highness Heart, and the father of Cavekit, Cedar Cresskit, and Brindle Kit. Lavender Finn was pampered as a child by his father, Timestripe, and consequently retains that spoiled child personality, often expecting or demanding too much of others. He is also a bit lazy, preferring others do the tough work for him. He was mentored by Valleystar in hopes that he would shape up. He never really did, but he was honored for his determination. Following the death of his father, Lavender Finn became even more troublesome and standoffish, though he tries his best to create a good example for others, even if he isn't exactly doing it right. After developing a huge crush on Highness Heart, he began to follow her around like a lost kit, annoying her initially, but she began to accept him after some time. The two of them proceeded to have a litter of 4 kits, though one of them, Brindle Kit, was tragically lost. Cedar Hollow is a warrior of the clan. He is 51 moons old and has a competitive personality. Cedar Hollow was found abandoned in the territory as a kid. From his days in the nursery, he was always a bold and strong-willed spirit, which carried on into his apprenticeship as he developed a competitive nature and a desire to stand out, often leading him into dangerous situations, much to the displeasure of his mentor, Mudsilk. He was honored for his hard work when he became a warrior. He's always been close with Shadow Poppy, having grown up alongside her, and once traveled to the Two-Leg Place in hopes of confronting her mother, who abandoned her. However, he was captured by Two Legs and would later escape with a collar, which he considers a trophy of his efforts. He's a bit reckless and prone to injury, but he doesn't let it stop him. Though he has a strong crush on Shadow Poppy, he was always too nervous to confess his feelings, and it ended up costing him in the end when Calamari Prince became Shadow Poppy's mate. Though the two remain close friends, he still tries desperately to impress Shadow Poppy at every opportunity. Shadow Poppy is currently an expecting queen of the clan. She is 50 moons old and has a lonesome personality. She is the adopted daughter of Cannelloni, the mate of Calamari Prince, and the mother of an unborn litter. Shadow Poppy was abandoned by her kitty pet mother at only a moon old due to her weak leg. The then mediator, Cannelloni, took her in as his own, but it didn't do much to quell her loneliness and that feeling of being unwanted. For a while, with no other kits in the nursery to play with, she often distracted herself through vigorous play. However, she soon found company in Cedar Kit, who she grew very close to. Though she often annoyed Cedar Hollow with her attempts at play, the two were nearly inseparable. She was mentored by Valleystar and honored for her tranquility. She later became mates with Calamari Prince, much to the dismay of Cedar Hollow, and is currently expecting their kits. Nile is a warrior of the clan. He is 29 moons old with a loving personality. A former K-pet, Nile was forced to strike out on his own after his two legs mysteriously disappeared. Like Calamari Prince, he was struck by a monster and later recovered by a Rainbow Clan patrol, and had his broken leg treated. He is a very well-liked member of the clan, working hard to provide for his clanmates and putting their need far for his own. He doesn't really have a particular preference for any cat, viewing the clan as a collective and wanting to keep everyone strong and healthy. I would still like for him to start a family eventually, however. Partridge Streak is a young warrior of the clan. He is 20 moons old with a daring personality. He is the son of Sandsnarl and Blazestripe. He is an extremely reckless and bold young cat, often getting himself into unideal situations, and is currently in the medicine cat den for a mangled tail. However, he has a good heart just like his parents, and works hard to prove himself as a worthy member of the clan. He was honored for his courage when he became a warrior and was mentored by his father Blazestripe. Interestingly, he has the power of clairvoyance, which he's never really put to use, but I wonder if it means he may have a more important role in the future. Minnow is a young warrior of the clan. He is 18 moons old with a troublesome personality. He is the son of the loner Basil and the adopted son of Tiny Sight, and the littermate of Thrushpelt. Minnow was orphaned as a kitten when his mother died, leaving him and his brother on their own. However, they were taken in by RAINBOWCLAN, specifically Tiny Sight, who chose to become their adoptive father. Unlike Thrushpelt, who easily adjusted to clan life, Minnow wasn't so eager to leave his old life behind. Even to this day, he still converses with old loner and kitty pet friends that he keeps in touch with, often secretly abandoning his duties to hang out with them, which was permitted by the negligence of his mentor, Lavender Finn. Despite this, Minnow still actively tries to be a good member of the clan, being honored for his dependability, even though juggling his split life isn't exactly faring well for him. Hail Summit is the clan's youngest warrior. She is 16 moons old with a troublesome personality. Discovered abandoned as a kit, Hail Summit had a rough start to life, which influenced her to have a bit of a troublemaking streak. She has a bit of an attitude toward older cats and often deliberately goes against orders just for the fun of it. After chasing a rabbit over the border with a rival clan, Hail Summit earned a scar on her cheek, which instead of serving as a reminder of her actions, she views as a sort of souvenir of her misadventures. She is currently in the medicine cat den with a mangled tail and a torn pelt after a fox attack. Gardenia Paw is an apprentice of the clan. He is 9 moons old with a playful personality. He is the son of Rosie Pelt and Tangle Spots and the littermate of Silent Paw and Talon Paul. He is mentored by his father, Tangle Spots. Gardenia Paw was a troublesome kit, often earning the ire of his clanmates through his misbehavior. However, this shed from him as he grew older, his righteous heart peering through, though it's still often masked by his fun-loving nature and his apparent carefree outlook on life. Silent Paw is an apprentice of the clan. She is 9 moons old with a bloodthirsty personality. She is the daughter of Rosie Pelt and Tangle Spots and the littermate of Gardenia Paw and Talon Paul. She is mentored by her mother, Rosie Pelt. Silent Paw had a rough start to life. She was grabbed by an eagle as a kit, leaving her injured and confined to the medicine cat den for much of her kithood. Despite her loving parents and playful siblings, Silent Paw was just a natural ball of angst, and now just sits around moping and craving the thrill of battle. I hope it gets something she grows out of. She's currently in the medicine cat den after fighting a dog, probably for fun. Talon Paul is an apprentice of the clan. He is 9 moons old with a cunning personality. He is the son of Rosie Pelt and Tangle Spots and the littermate of Gardenia Paw and Silent Paw. He is mentored by Valleystar after the leader saw potential in him after receiving an apparent vision from StarClan. Talon Paul is a talented apprentice with sharp skills in both hunting and battle, and holds a lot of promise. He has a bit of an ego because of it, and it's only fed by his parents. I'm thinking he will hold an important role in the clan's story if he continues to survive. Cavekit, Cedar and Cresskit are the 3 kids of the clan. They are 5 moons old and have charming, lonesome, and nervous personalities respectively. There's not really much to say about these guys yet, which is why I have bundled them all together. They had another sibling, Brindle Kit, who tragically died after being taken by a hawk. The same hawk that had previously grabbed Cavekit, but he managed to survive after being saved by Partridge. They are soon to become apprentices, and I'm excited to see the kind of cats that they become. So that ends the recap for years 1 through 5 of RAINBOWCLAN. Thank you guys so much for watching and for your support on the Let's Play, since this is something I don't normally do on this channel. I'm really excited to keep working on this story and see where it goes over time. See you guys in year 6!